Y'all voted, right? Yeah. All right, give yourself a hand. Okay. You know, I don't always agree with our school board directors. You know, God knows I've called Terry Falk plenty of times on issues. But, you know, you elected these people. And I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. The school board is probably the toughest job to do, the toughest elected position to have. You know why? First of all, you got to balance the needs of the taxpayers against the needs of the kids. You got to pit those two together, two against each other. Second of all, they're dealing with what I believe is our most precious resource, which is our future, our children. So, whether or not we agree, I don't think any one of these school board members are in it for the money, the power, the glory. As Director Peterson said, they're in it for the kids. And that's why we elect them. They come to our doors and they tell us what they're going to do for our children. And we believe them. And we continue to believe them. And if we don't believe them, we'll go back to the polls and vote them out. That's our right. That's our responsibility, not the mayor's.
To what the issues are. It is a question and answer portion of the agenda. So what we want to do right now is, if any of you have been to a school board meeting before, you basically come up to the mic, you wait patiently until your turn, you have 2 minutes. And what we're going to do is focus on, maybe if there's still clarification on some issues, focus on that and possible solutions. I mean, we have community members from all different angles here, and so this is the time to hear what people have out there and bounce it off of some of our panelists over here as well.
Good evening. My name is Gerald Glazer. I live on the west side. I speak as not only as a taxpayer, as a graduate of Milwaukee, Washington High, but also as a former candidate for the school board myself. Unlike the directors who spoke, I got the short end. I would like to say a few words about governance. Number one is, one of the most basic concepts in American politics is that of no taxation without representation. The Board of School Directors is not like the commissions that are now appointed by the mayor, such as the Fire and Police Commission or the Harbor Commission or any other commission. These commissions do not have tax levying power, but the Board of School Directors does. Therefore, it is more important that the Board of School Directors be elected than these other commissions which are now. Secondly, that we've heard reports in the press, it was not mentioned much tonight, but that school board elections have a low turnout. Okay, this is true. The turnout is small. People who come to these meetings go vote for, and I vote for everyone, but it's true, it's small turnout. If that's what's bothering the people who are proposing this change, I'll suggest a much simpler change, which would increase the turnout greatly. Number one is, all you have to do is change the date of the school board election to coincide with the election of the mayor. It would mean, however, that all 9 directors would be elected at the same time, whereas now they're staggered. But if that's really what concerns you, by all means, make the term coterminous with that of mayor, county executive, and alderman, and there's a very big turnout for that election. Another thing you can do would be to provide some form of public financing for school board campaigns. They're doing it for legislative campaigns, but they're not doing it for school board campaigns. If we had public financing, more people would run, there would be more advertising, there would be more community involvement. So that is something we could do which would not take the right away from the people to elect their board. I would like one brief comment, first of all, about Mayor Tom Barrett. I like him, I always voted for him. He proposed the same idea in 2004 when he ran for mayor, and a lot of people came out against it, and if you remember, he dropped the whole thing like a hot potato because he saw that he was going to lose votes. And for 4 years, the whole thing stayed on kind of the back burner. Okay, now it's bounced back up again. Some people point out, well, we still have democracy because the mayor is elected. The mayor is elected, but the election for mayor turns on all kinds of issues. Crime, economic involvement in coming up with a plan to reform and improve Milwaukee schools. And I attended a couple of those meetings to get this thing going. And people were given a chance to speak to the committee. And I gave them a very simple suggestion. If you consider